Welcome to the Deep Dive. We're here to unpack some really dense, sometimes infamous source material, basically do the heavy lifting so you don't have to.
And today, we're definitely strapping in. We're tackling a cornerstone of conspiracy lore, John Lear's 1987 document, often called The Horrible Truth.
Right, this thing popped up on Paranet, an early electronic bulletin board. Wild origins.
Absolutely. And it pretty much laid the groundwork for a lot of modern UFO conspiracy theories. But, we have to be super clear up front.
Yeah.
We're exploring what Lear claimed. We're not endorsing it. This is a hugely controversial, totally unverified story.
A story about a secret, 40-year government conspiracy.
Yeah.
Involving EBEs.
Extraterrestrial biological entities, yeah. A hidden deal, a massive cover-up in the works.
And the source, John Lear himself, is just fascinating. Son of the Learjet inventor, Bill Lear.
Right, he had credentials coming out of his ears, held literally every FAA certificate available, flew for the CIA, or so the story goes.
And he's the guy who brought Bob Lazar into the public eye. Huge.
Huge. But then, later on, his claims just got increasingly wild. Holographic moons, government mind control.
Such a strange mix, isn't it? That credibility versus these really outlandish statements.
It really is. And Lear himself, interestingly, even floated the idea that he might have been used part of a CESAP.
A government disinformation campaign. Explain that.
Yeah, the theory goes like this. You take someone with undeniable technical credibility like Lear, you feed them, say, 90% truth about a secret program.
Okay.
But then you sprinkle in 10% utter bizarre nonsense, something completely unbelievable.
Like storing human body parts in vats, that kind of thing.
Exactly. So when people hear that one crazy detail, they dismiss everything. The credible parts, the nonsense, the source, all of it. Throw the baby out with the bathwater, basically.
Clever, in a terrifying way. So we need to keep that possibility in mind as we go through this.
Definitely. So where does Lear's narrative start? The dawn of the cover-up.
He actually claims the Germans found a saucer way back in 1939.
Yeah, but for the U.S. story, he points to post-WWII, a crash in Sweden in '46, supposedly checked out by General James Doolittle.
Okay, setting scene. But 1947 is the big one, right? Roswell, Aztec, Laredo.
That's what Lear says, a wave of crashes. And in response, President Truman supposedly creates Majestic 12, MJ-12.
This group of 12 top guys, military scientists tasked with handling this alien problem secretly.
And they were apparently in total shock. Lear emphasizes this. The recovered tech was just alien. No pistons, no turbines, nothing they recognized.
Plus, alien bodies. They had no idea what they were dealing with. Imagine the panic.
Especially remembering the War of the Worlds broadcast panic just a few years earlier, secrecy was paramount.
And then bam, July 1952, what happened then?
Oh, yeah. That was quite a display. According to Lear, a whole squadron of saucers flew right over Washington, D.C.
Over the White House, the Capitol, Pentagon.
Buzzed them all, right out in the open. Lear claims it took extreme measures, intimidation, imagination, to basically scrub that event from public consciousness.
Covering that up must have been a nightmare. And just hiding the craft themselves.
Huge logistical problems. Lear even claims one saucer was so massive they couldn't move it, just buried it where it crashed, said it's still there.
Wow. Others ended up at places like Wright-Patterson Air Force Base.
That's the story. Secure facilities. So phase one is panic, containment, secrecy.
But you can't just hide forever, right? Did they ever try to communicate?
Well, according to Lear, the big moment, the turning point came later, April 30th, 1964.
Where?
Holloman Air Force Base, New Mexico. He claims 3 saucers landed at a prearranged spot. A meeting.
A meeting between aliens and U.S. intelligence.
That's the assertion. Lear even mentions supposed proof, like an alleged CIA film that showed 8 seconds of a disc landing.
Just the landing.
Yeah, he claimed they showed that much to sort of confirm it, but cut before the classified part. The beams getting out, a controlled leak, maybe.
Okay, so contact is made. Then what? The deal.
Right. Between 1969 and 1971, Lear says the deal was formalized. MJ-12 makes a pact with the EBEs.
Represented by whom?
Detlef Bronk. He was president of Johns Hopkins University at one point, an original MJ-12 member, supposedly.
Okay, so what was the bargain? What did we get?
Advanced technology. That was the carrot.
And the stick. What did we give up?
This is where it gets dark. We agreed, allegedly, to ignore abductions, ignore cattle mutilations, suppress any information about them.
Just turn a blind eye. Why would they agree to that?
Initially, the government supposedly bought the EBE's story that it was just ongoing monitoring of developing civilizations, like a benign surveillance program.
But Lear suggests the real reason was much, much worse.
Yeah.
Their biology.
Exactly. This is probably the most disturbing part of the whole document. The EBE's biological need.
What need?
Lear claims they have a severe genetic disorder. Their digestive systems are basically useless, atrophied.
So they can't eat normally.
Correct. They supposedly need vital enzymes, hormonal secretions, harvested from living tissue, human and animal.
Human and. Why cows?
The cattle mutilation. Apparently, cows are genetically similar enough to humans to work as a source for these substances.
My God.
And
how did they use this material?
This detail is so specific and, frankly, bizarre. Lear claimed the substance derived from the tissue was mixed with hydrogen peroxide.
Hydrogen peroxide.
Yeah. And then applied to their skin, like spread on, or they dip parts of their bodies in it. It gets absorbed, and waste gets secreted back out through the skin.
That sounds incredibly strange, almost deliberately weird.
Doesn't it? This is a prime candidate for that SQOP theory we talked about. Is this detail, the skin absorption, the peroxide, is it thrown in to make you dismiss the core idea?
The core idea being that they do need biological material from us.
Precisely. You hear the peroxide skin dip story, you laugh or recoil, and you stop considering the possibility that harvesting is happening.
Okay, let's push past that detail for a second. What about the program itself? The mutilations, the abductions. Lear gives a time frame, right?
Mainly 1973 to 1983. And he described the mutilations in chilling detail. Genitals, eyes, tongue, throat removed, rectums cored out.
Cored out. And the incisions. He said something specific about those.
Yes, that they were made by cutting between the cells, not through them.
Between the cells. What does that even mean technologically?
It implies something far beyond scalpels, like some kind of molecular separation tech, cutting with atomic precision that was way beyond our 1980s understanding.
And the bodies. No blood?
Often, yes. No blood left, but strangely, no vascular collapse inside the organs, which is medically weird.
Suggests the blood wasn't just drained, but maybe removed instantly by technology.
That's the implication. Lear even cited a specific case, Sergeant Jonathan P. Louette, back in 1956 at White Sands, as a possible human victim of this kind of precise mutilation.
Okay, that's mutilations. What about the abductions? Lear listed, what, 6 reasons?
6 horrifying reasons, yeah. First, inserting a tiny, 3mm sphere into the brain and through the nose.
For what purpose?
Biological monitoring, tracking, and control. Lear specifically mentioned control.
Control. Okay, what else?
Number 2. Post-hypnotic suggestion. Programming people to do things later, maybe years later, sleeper agents, essentially.
Terrifying. What else?
3. Termination. Killing some people simply to get biological materials or substances.
Just harvesting them.
4. Terminating individuals seen as a threat to their operations. Silencing witnesses, maybe?
Okay.
5. Genetic experiments. Creating hybrids.
Hybrids. And the last one?
Impregnating human females, then terminating the pregnancy early to retrieve the crossbreed fetus.
This is unbelievably grim. Where did Lear claim all this harvested material went?
He pointed to underground labs, specifically mentioning one near Dulce, New Mexico, a joint facility, supposedly, CIA and aliens working together.
Well, Dulce, that name comes up a lot in these circles. And the description.
Nightmare fuel. Lear relayed alleged witness accounts of huge vats filled with amber liquid with parts of human bodies being stirred inside.
Okay, the vats. That specific image. We're talking about disinformation. That feels like the anchor, doesn't it? The most extreme, hardest to believe detail.
Absolutely. You attach that image to a credible messenger like Lear, and it potentially poisons the whole well, even if other parts are true.
So connecting the dots. Lear says that eventually MJ-12 figured out they'd been lied to.
Right. Around 1979 to 83, they realized the abduction numbers weren't small like the EDEs claimed. They were in the thousands.
And worse.
Worse, they suspected some of the nation's missing children ended up in those facilities, used for materials.
That realization must have caused absolute panic within MJ-12.
Led to direct conflict, according to Lear. The Dulce incident in 1979.
What happened there?
He claimed a special forces unit went in to try and rescue trapped U.S. personnel who'd stumbled onto the truth. A firefight ensued. Lear reported 66 U.S. soldiers were killed, and the personnel they went to rescue, they weren't freed. A total disaster.
So MJ-12 is facing this horrifying reality. They've been deceived, maybe complicit, and now they're in conflict. What's the next move?
Pivot. They'd already been subtly conditioning the public with movies like Close Encounters, E.T., making aliens seem potentially benevolent.
Softening us up.
Perhaps, but now, internally, it was panic. Their new plan. Secret war. Develop a weapon against the EBEs.
And how do you fund and develop a secret alien-killing weapon system without anyone knowing?
You disguise it. According to Lear, this was the real purpose of the Strategic Defense Initiative. SDI, Star Wars.
Wait, he's saying Star Wars had nothing to do with defending against Soviet missiles?
Nothing whatsoever, Lear wrote. He claimed it was purely an EBE weapon development program, a cover story.
That's a massive claim. Billions of dollars spent on missile defense was actually for fighting aliens.
That's Lear's assertion. He even named names. Dr. Edward Teller, father of the H-bomb, supposedly an MJ-12 member driving this secret weapons project.
Wow. Okay. Beyond the weapons, did Lear mention other ways the EBEs were messing with us, like psychologically?
Oh, definitely. He claimed the EBEs told MJ-12 some truly reality-shattering things about Earth's history.
Such as?
Such as, they claimed to have genetically engineered Jesus Christ, monitored his birth.
Engineered Christ?
Yeah, and that they had recordings of all of Earth's history, viewable like a hologram. Lear suggested this was deliberate. Feed the government information guaranteed to destabilize religion, society, everything.
Psychological warfare on a planetary scale. Okay, let's shift to how this whole story was supposedly managed. Lear talks about disinformation agents, right?
Yeah.
Like William Moore.
He does. Moore wrote the Roswell incident. Lear heavily implies Moore might have been working for the government.
How so?
By feeding the public misleading info, specifically denying the reality of the mutilations and abductions, trying to explain them away conventionally.
So control the narrative. Maybe admit saucers exist, but hide the truly horrible parts.
Exactly. Lear pointed out Moore promoted a book called Mute Evidence, which was widely seen as a government-backed attempt to debunk the scary aspects of cattle mutilations, directly contradicting researchers like Linda Moulton Howe.
So keep the public focused on nuts and bolts craft, not on harvesting. And why haven't mainstream media or scientists blown the lid on this, according to Lear?
His take was pretty cynical. News anchors, like Dan Rather, they just read the teleprompter. They don't dig deep enough.
And scientists. Carl Sagan, Isaac Asimov, Arthur C. Clarke.
Either they stay silent because they know challenging this would end their careers, or Lear suggests some might even be in on it.
He specifically mentioned Sagan, didn't he?
Yeah, connected him to the Arecibo radio telescope. Lear basically called SETI, the search for extraterrestrial intelligence, a giant charade.
How so?
Why spend millions searching for signals from aliens you already made contact with decades ago? He saw it as a psychological operation. Keep looking busy searching, making the public think we haven't found anything yet. Keep people calm.
Okay, so the document paints this picture of total infiltration, total control. How does it end? What's the final conclusion?
It's Blick. Lear essentially says the invasion is already complete. Done.
Complete? How?
He argued a truly advanced civilization wouldn't invade with explosions and fanfare. It would be subtle, insidious, finished before even a handful of people realized it was happening. No fuss, no muss.
Just quietly taking over from within.
That's the chilling idea, and the very last piece of advice in the document.
What is it?
Next time you see a flying saucer and are awed by its obvious display of technology and gorgeous lights and pure colors, run like hell.
Wow. Just run like hell. It's an absolutely terrifying narrative, start to finish, all from this one document, decades old now.
And we keep coming back to that central puzzle, the SCOP, the disinformation theory.
Right. If any of the early stuff is true, MJ-12, the DC flyover, the tech shock, how much of the really lurid stuff, the VATS, the skin absorption, was deliberately woven in.
Woven in to make the whole thing sound so insane that nobody credible would touch it, to make Lear himself seem like he'd gone off the deep end.
It's the perfect way to hide something in plain sight, maybe.
Oh.
Make the truth sound like the ravings of a lunatic.
Which leads to that final kind of uncomfortable question for you, the listener.
Yeah.
If a government, any government, believed the real truth about hostile EBEs would cause global panic, crash economies, shatter religions, would they be justified?
Justified in leaking the truth slowly, through sources designed to be discredited, like Lear, just to cushion the blow before some future gradual reveal.
How would you handle the truth if it turned out to be genuinely, profoundly horrible?
Something to definitely chew on. Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.